Welcome to our Lund live event. Very happy to have you guys here. I'm Jesse Hanish. I'm here to spend some time with you on Facebook Live tonight. On behalf of myself and the Lund team, we hope you and your families are staying healthy and safe at home. You know, we all do share a passion for fishing, being on the water, and obviously for Lund boats, because that's why we're all here, right? So I'm very happy to have you here. We do know one thing. It is very important during these times that we do follow the social distancing recommendations put forth by your state and the federal government. So I appreciate everyone doing that and doing their part. So, you know, for us currently right now, based on Minnesota stay-at-home order, Lund has temporarily closed our production. We're actively monitoring our state guidelines, and once that has been lifted, then we'll start filling orders quickly as we can, right? So our goal is to get the boats built, get them to the dealers, get them in your hands. We want you guys with your families and friends making memories out on the water. So that is our goal, and along with the health and safety of our employees, that is our top priority. So, you know, we know that this pause in business, it does affect us all, each and every one of us. And I appreciate everyone sticking with us. And we are going to get through it together, and we're going to come out stronger than ever. I really, really do believe that. So I appreciate everybody taking their time to join in tonight. I'm here to talk about Lund boats. We can talk about fishing. We can talk about the weather. I mean, I'm sitting here in central Minnesota, and I think it was raining this morning, and then it was snowing. Now the sun's out. You know, we can go from 30 degrees to 70 degrees in about 90 seconds here. So we don't know what season it is, but what I do know is boating season's coming, and we're ready for it. So this session's really, you guys, it's about engaging with you as consumers, taking and fielding your questions. So feel free to type in your questions. We're going to respond to as many as we can during this session. And I guess with that, let's get after it. So we did have some questions come in earlier today for some people that weren't able to join, but had some questions. So one of them that came in is, are Lund dealers still open, and can I buy a boat? The answer to that is, you know, many of our Lund dealers across our whole network are open. Others are closed. Others are open by appointment. So my best recommendation with that, you guys, is honestly, email your dealer or call them. If you do call your dealer, make sure and leave them a message, because I know if they're not there, many of them are checking their messages from home, and they'll get back to you. So once they do that, if they can set up an appointment, get you in there to look at a boat, or their websites are updated, that's a good place to go too. So honestly, that's what I would do. So some other ones coming in. Well, best way to keep your Lund boat clean, that one always kind of makes that's a great question. I'm pretty particular about my boat, so my kids make fun of me. Other people at the Accessory sometimes make fun of me, because what I do is I have a 50-50 water vinegar spray bottle mix that I keep in my truck along with a couple chamois. So when I pull out of the Access, I pull out of the way. And now currently with the ice going off the lake here in Minnesota, I'll be practicing my social distancing, staying away from people. I'll spray my boat down with that. I wipe it down with the chamois, and the water spots are gone. I bring it home, back it in the garage, and away I go. Great question. I like that one, because I like things clean, neat, very organized. Can I purchase touch-up paint for my boat? Yes, you can. So the best way to purchase touch-up paint for your boat is to get a hold of your Lund dealer. With the current paint schemes that we have today, we do have that paint, and they can order little touch-up bottles with a brush on them. Otherwise, they also have, your dealer has access to get the paint codes. In fact, some of our paint codes are also out on the Lund website. So you can get them there, and you can go to like one of your automotive parts stores. You can go to the body shop, things like that, and they can mix it for you. So, good one. Hey, awesome! I got a comment in here. I love my impact, so that's great. We love that boat too, and we're happy that you are part of the Lund family. So thank you. How does a new second owner transfer the warranty? What you can do on that is you can actually talk to your Lund dealer. They have a form you can fill out, and you fill out that form and they send it in, and we actually will transfer the warranty for you. I believe there is a fee for that, but your Lund dealer will talk to you about that as well. Will a 12-volt, 55-pound thrust iPilot be a good choice for my 1675 Lund Explorer? That is a phenomenal boat. I'm wondering what color that is. Red was my favorite color back when we were building that Explorer. So a 12-volt, 55-pound thrust trolling motor worked great on there. That's a good boat. You know, you might want to, if you're going to use that thing all day long, you may want to run two trolling motor batteries on that and just put them in a series so that your batteries don't go dead during the day. But that'd be be a phenomenal trolling motor, no matter, motor guide, Minn Kota, whatever you're going to run. What boat am I running this year? I'm actually going to be running a 2075 Pro V Bass pedestal version. That's what I ran the last 2 years as well. Before that, I ran an 1875 Pro V Bass. I'm pretty passionate about bass fishing. I also do some multi-species. I do some muskie fishing in the fall. I do some walleye fishing. That 2075 Pro V Bass is really a great fit for me. So that's what I run. Other questions coming in. I appreciate this. Is some great comments so far. I'm pretty excited right now. I drive to work every day and I'm seeing the lakes open up around the Midwest. In Minnesota, the ice is going off the lakes. The wind's blowing it off today. I know Wisconsin's opened up. I know South Dakota, Minnesota border, those lakes are opening up too. So pretty excited to get out and do a little fishing in the spring for some panfish and get out in those South Dakota waters and do some walleye fishing as well. I had another question come in. Great question. What is the current promotion for buying customers? There is a spring sale event going on right now. You can check that out at the Lund Boats website, and you can go click because different models have different promotions going on. So I won't run through every one of them here, but I mean, I think it's up to like $3,000 off. You can get on a brand new Lund boat. So go out to the Lund Boats website, check that out. Also get in touch with your dealer. They have all that information. And even through our Lund Boats website, one other thing is we do have some live chat on there, so you can talk with a couple of our customer care reps. They're very knowledgeable about the Lund product. They'll help ask you some questions, find out what the right boat is for your family. So do that, and then they can share with you what those promotions are as well and get you into a great boat. So, great questions rolling in. Another boat that's been really popular for us, especially with all the high school angling and college angling going on, is the Renegade, both the 1775 and the 1875 Renegade. Those have been a great boat. They're a Mod V boat, built right in New York Mills, Minnesota. Go down the lines with our deep V's, built with the same pride by our employees that they do with every other boat. I love the fit and finish on that boat. I love the performance on it. That 1875, you can put up to 115 horse motor on it. That thing is a rocket ship. You can do flush mount graphs on the boat. It'll hold multiple different locators. Just a great boat. So, another one, great question. Interested in buying a bass boat? I tell you what, again, that Renegade or the 1875 Pro V Bass, the 2075 Pro V Bass, we offer that in a bench model, and we also offer it in a pedestal version. So for those of you that aren't familiar with that, the pedestal version, what that does is that actually gives you two of the pro ride seats and then two flip up seats, so you get good seating in there and gives you a little more space in the cockpit. A lot of the muskie guys really like that boat because it does give them a little more room if they do net a muskie and bring it in the boat. They've got some room versus a regular bass boat. And then the bench version is going to be more like your traditional bass boat. It's going to have the bench seat going across and then a little bigger rear casting deck on it as well. So great boats. Many of our dealers do stock that boat. And if not, I know our website has some great overhead shots of that. If you do go out to the website, you can do the boat builder, or you can also scroll down if you pick that model. If you click on it, you can actually open those compartments at that boat and see how it looks. I would definitely encourage you guys to do that. But those are some great bass boats. What's the best way to keep my carpet in good condition? What I like to do is if whenever you can, make sure your carpet's dry. If you come home from the lake and your carpet's wet, don't cover your boat. Try to keep it uncovered. If you can get it in your garage, get it in your garage, dry it out good. If you can get it out in the sun to dry out that carpet. Once the carpet's dry, then I put my cover on it. Try to not have it sitting in the sun in one place all the time. Those sun's rays can get pretty hot, especially down those southern climates. So. This question rolls in, kind of makes me chuckle, gives me some good memories. Where's my favorite place to catch walleyes? I would say like I said earlier, I'm more of a bass guy. I do some walleye fishing, make a few trips every year. My favorite place to catch walleyes has got to be up on Lake of the Woods every fall. Make a trip up there fishing with a great group of guys. This past year, we took a couple new guys with us, and it was a lot of fun. So. I think one of the guys, if he's listening, I'm not sure, but he may have even had an umbrella behind his ear for a little bit. So we had a lot of fun. Best way to fix up your carpet when you switch accessory locations. That's an interesting question. I guess I would have to know a little bit more about that. I'll answer that the best I can. If what you're talking about on that is maybe if you drilled a hole through that carpet and then you're moving accessory locations, so now you have a hole there. There's some great products out there in the aftermarket your dealers can get through Land and Sea or one of their other suppliers that they can cover up them holes with a grommet or plastic covers or things like that. And then you can fluff your carpet back up. Usually with just a good shampooer and sometimes a brush. I like to use just a good bristle brush, and you can get that carpet to fluff back up. Can you have a jack plate on the 2075 motor or transom? Yes, you can put a jack plate on the 2075. You can actually use a jack plate on any of our boats. It does not void the warranty. The biggest thing I'll tell you guys about that is from our standpoint, we haven't tested a lot of them. A lot of our pro staff have. A lot of our dealers have done them, so they're kind of the experts with it. There are occasions, depending on the jack plate you would put on, you might have to switch your cables or your hydraulic steering hoses or things like that. But yeah, we do. We have a lot of consumers that are running 6-inch jack plates, 8-inch, 10-inch, things like that, depending on what they're doing. Some are running manual, some are running hydraulic. So, where can I find a dealer in Ontario, Canada? Actually, what I would recommend on that, go to the www.lundboats.com that I'm guessing most of you have already been on before, and go in there. You can go find a dealer, put in your postal code, and it'll bring up the closest dealers to you. It'll bring up they usually bring up their websites, possibly an email address, and their phone number, so you can get in touch with them, and they'll take good care of you. Have I tested the Bravo prop on a 2075 Pro V XS? If so, how does it compare to the Tempest? I will tell you this, I did try a Bravo prop on my 2075 Pro V Bass. I had a 250 Verado on it, and it did phenomenal. I would say the whole shot was a little better with it. The 21 Tempest seemed to be a better all-around prop on it. But I tested, I think it was a 20 Bravo that I had tried on mine. The RPMs were good. Speed, it did give it a little more lift on the bow, is what I did notice with the Bravo prop versus the Tempest, but that Tempest prop was great. So, any new models in the works for 2021? Stay tuned. For now, what I would focus on is going to see a Lund dealer and seeing what they've got for boats and get you guys out there making some memories. I can't say it enough. I love getting out there. You know, my favorite time to go fishing is I'm an early morning person. 5 o'clock in the morning, sun's coming up. I've got a 14-year-old son who loves to sleep. I'm sure all of you have kids, know that your kids probably love to get up early in the morning. Mine does not. But I'll drag him out of bed. I'll drag him out the truck. I've got the boat hooked up. I'm like, we're going bass fishing. This is the best time of day to go top water. And so that's what we like to do. So it's just near and dear to my heart. Making memories with my family and friends is very important. So anytime you can do that, doesn't matter if you've got a 1974 Lund or a 2020, just get out on the water. Normal time to build a boat that was custom ordered. That's a tough question. It really depends on time of year for us, on how our backlog is. Show season, sometimes it can get backed up a little bit more. Also depends on shipping time. Most of you probably know this. If you're local to the Minnesota area, most of those dealers can pick up. But if we're shipping outside of the Midwest, particularly Minnesota and Wisconsin, those boats are getting shipped to most other places, and we ship generally. It depends on the size of the boats. We might ship 5 to 8 boats on a load. So sometimes your boat will get done, but we have to wait for 4 or 5 other boats to get done, and then we can get them on a load. So generally, once that boat builds, I would say our normal lead times are usually generally 4 to 5 weeks. And then after that, a couple weeks maybe for shipping. So yeah, depending on time of year, I mean, you're looking 6 to 8 weeks, honestly. What you're looking at. Yeah, and again, based on the shutdown, things can change a little bit. We appreciate everybody's patience and understanding as we work through this. Again, our goal is to get the boats built, get them to our dealers. Our dealers' goal is to get those boats rigged and prepped and ready for you guys and get them delivered and in your driveways just as quick as they can too. So we really appreciate everything you guys are doing as Lund consumers, and we're gonna keep working hard for you. So. Yeah, having some mold in some of the compartments to keep them dry. The recommendation I have, that's a tough one. Again, it's not everybody has a garage they can bring their boat home to and open their compartments and and throw a fan in their boat and let them dry out or things like that. Um, I honestly, I wish I had a great recommendation. I don't, other than whenever you can and the sun's out, if your boat's outside, uncover your boat, open your compartments, dry them out. Because if you're out fishing in the rain and you're opening your compartments and you're taking out a life jacket or you're taking out some tackle, it's going to get wet, right? So when you get home, you want to take that out. Um, so yeah, it's just do the best you can to open them up and dry out all your equipment too. That's the biggest thing. Can you buy the drawers that go in the Pro Vs? I'm not 100% sure what that question is about with which drawers. If you're thinking about the new drawer, there's one actually between the consoles. This is awesome on the new Pro Vs. There's a drawer that's between right where the center rod locker is that pulls out from your passenger side console, and it's got some awesome storage in it. So I like that one. You wouldn't be able to add it to a current model. And then on some of the 2021 75 Pro V, those have pull-out drawers on the side down in the cockpit area. Again, you wouldn't be able to retrofit those in your boat. So might be a good time to go trade. Hey, you know what? The thing is about Lund boats too, they do have the highest resale value of any aluminum boat on the market. So if you've got a Lund, it doesn't matter. Again, whether it's an Explorer, an Angler, a Pro V, a Tyee, heck, an Old Fisherman, Pro Sport, those things are in hot demand. So you can get good value for those boats if you're looking to get into a new one. Great questions. I really appreciate all these coming in. Is it worth upgrading a 200 horse to a 250 on my Pro Guide? I would say it's worth trading in your boat to get a new boat with a 250, just because I like to sell boats and I like to see a lot of new boats on the water. But there's advantages to everything. Obviously, you go from a 200 to a 250, you're going to gain some top end. Um, The other thing about it is you could take that 250 and you don't have to run it wide open, so you might get better fuel economy if you back it down versus the 200 you might be running wide open. But if it was me, I'd probably just trade and get a new boat with a 250. Sell your, again, highest resale in the market, so you can get good value for your Pro Guide today with the 200 on it. Any tips on breaking in a new boat? Go fishing, go catch fish. Or if you're buying a crossover and you want to go skiing, take your kids tubing, doing things like that. Is in regards to breaking in the motor, the best thing I can tell you to do is go out there, follow what Mercury's recommendations are or whatever engine you're using, and kind of go through their owner's manual. Your dealer will do a pre-delivery, post-delivery with you. They'll go through the motor and tell you what the recommendation is from that engine manufacturer. But generally, when I go, I just make sure I'm varying my speeds and doing a lot of different things that way. So. Can I get a travel cover for my 2003 Rebel 1650? That's a fun boat. I've fished out of them before. Uh, yeah, you should be able to. Again, we don't sell anything direct. We work everything through our dealer network. We have a great group of dealers out there, very helpful. They've got access to all that stuff, so they could give you a part number pricing and availability on that. So. Pro Guide 1875. Rod holders for trolling. Yeah, that's a good one because that boat is wide. I like the gunnels on that boat. So you can use the sport track and you can put rod holders in there. Make sure you've got, you should have a seat slider on there. Yeah, you're right. It can be a little bit of a reach across if you're using that rod holder. I'm not a tiller guy. I used to be. I used to fish out of that boat. I would like to say that I was catching fish fast and furious enough that I didn't have to put mine in a rod holder, but that'd be an absolute lie. So I know what you're talking about with putting it in a rod holder. I would. There's some great rod holders out there. We offer some. Our dealers have different ones. Maybe just work with your dealer on that one and see if they've got some ideas for you as well. Vinyl or carpet? My opinion. Here's my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. I'm not an expert on everything by any means. Each to their own. I like vinyl myself in the main cockpit area of the boat. I think having vinyl down there makes it really nice. Again, I'm very particular about my boat, and I like to be able to just clean that area up because that's where I'm going to tend to get a little bit of sand. I like up on the bow deck and on the rear platform, I like to have carpet there. What I notice about that is it's just a little more comfortable to stand on all day. Again, I'm a bass guy, and even when I'm not bass fishing, when I'm walleye fishing, I'm doing a lot of casting and things like that. So I'm standing up all day, so I like the carpet for that reason. If you're looking at something that's the boat's going to be outside a lot, or if it's going to be something where you know you're going to be out in the rain a lot and you're worried about the carpet getting wet, then vinyl's a great way to go. I mean, it's very durable, very strong, and easy to clean for sure. You can just hose it out, and away you go, right? So, awesome questions. Do we have a pro staff program for tournament anglers? We do. Again, those run right through our dealership. Our dealership has the pro staff applications that you can go in and fill that out and send it in, and we have a team that reviews those. There's one thing I would recommend if you are going to fill out that application, I would just make yourself up a nice little resume, maybe some pictures, talk about the social media stuff you're doing. I mean, that's really where it's at today, you guys. Social media, obviously, that's why we're on Facebook Live doing what we're doing, right? That's where everybody wants to be. So if you're looking to get on the Pro Staff program, throw a little resume together, just talking about the social media things you do, the posts that you make, pictures of some fish, and whatever you're doing, and then they can take a look at that for you. Here's a question I'll try to answer this one to the best of my ability, just because there's no question that I don't want to answer if I don't have to. But what is the earliest year of the Pro V with a composite transom of a 2016 1775 Pro V? So that one, I believe the Pro Vs we went to a composite transom in 2017, and then in 2018 we went to all composites. We do have a couple boats that run aluminum transoms, but yeah. So for the Pro Vs, should be 2017. And what is the best material to use for restoring the transom on a 2000 SS Pro Angler? That the composite material that we use today. If you work with your Lund dealer, they can actually order that, and we would sell the dealer that composite transom. And great stuff, great stuff. What's a good rubbing compound for the paint? Um, there's a lot of great products out there, you guys. I've used some 3M stuff that's really really good. McGuire's is really really good. Again, that's just my recommendation. Starbright makes some stuff. I would definitely just that's a great question for some of the forums you see out on the internet and see what people are using. Um, but yeah, I personally use the 3M products is what I use myself. Can I add talons to my 2019 1775 Renegade without causing a warranty issue? Yes, you can add talons to the back of that. Um, what a lot of people do on that, and you have your option. So you can put a jack plate on, and you could put the Minn Kota, adapters that go onto the jack plate between the jack plate and the motor, or between the transom and the motor. And you could do those, or you could actually bolt them direct to the transom. I've got people that have done both. On my Pro V Bass, I actually bolted them directly to the transom. It worked out great. I got a little more separation out that way because I wanted to keep mine out as far as I can, just because I don't want to have any chance of spinning my boat. So I put two out as far as I can with the outer corners, and it does not cause a warranty issue at all. Just make sure you're properly installing them, or have your dealer install them. They're gonna be the experts. So that's what I would recommend. And then that way also, you're gonna want to make sure on those talons that you wire them up properly. You're gonna want to make sure you put a master disconnect switch between those and your battery, because the way those talons are now today, they are Bluetooth, and they will be drawing juice from your battery when you're not using your boat. And the last thing you want to do is get to the access and turn the key and nothing happens, right? So make sure you do put a master disconnect in back there for them. Good question on 2075 Pro V Bass. You guys just know that I like talking about the Pro V Bass. So 2017 Pro V Bass it had aluminum plates that went across the bow. And then in 2019, we changed that and went to a fiberglass piece that is up there. To swap that new panel out, it is a different fastening system, so it would be different. Be pretty hard to do. But again, might be a good time to go look at buying a brand new Lund boat. I know there's some 2019s and 2020s out there that are some pretty good deals right now. So, are all Lund's priced the same regardless of the dealership I purchased from? I can tell you this, you guys. Every one of our dealerships is very, very competitive with their pricing. Every one of our dealerships has tremendous service. I always recommend you try and buy local, try and buy from your closest dealer, because guess what? When you have a question that comes up on your boat on how to do something, or you want to just swing by the dealership and say, hey, you know what? I was out with my locator and I can't quite figure this out. So buying local like that, you can pull into that guy's parking lot and he's going to walk outside and he's going to turn that locator on for you. And he's going to say, hey, here's what you need to do. I know in some circumstances that isn't always possible, but that's my recommendation. But I can tell you this: every one of our Lund dealers is very, very competitively priced, and will take great care of you after this. My favorite thing about a Lund boat, I will tell you this. My favorite thing about a Lund boat, and this goes back to the first Lund boat that I ever bought, was way before I worked for Lund Boats, and I got invited up to the factory for a tour. And when I walked into that factory, what I saw was the passion that the people that were building those boats had. That's my favorite thing about a Lund boat. Anytime that I walk out into that plant and I see a boat going down the line and I see the people that are building that boat, they care about everything they're doing. They care about every rivet that's put in that boat. They care about the pieces that are put in that boat. They care about the console, the cover, the decals, every single thing. And that's why Lund boats are the best of the best. So that, to me, that's my favorite thing about a Lund boat. I beached my boat. What would you use for a hull protector on a crossover XS? Actually, the funny thing about aluminum boats, it's fiberglass boats. There's a couple companies out there that make a keel guard that you can use on fiberglass, but nobody makes one that goes on aluminum. And the reason that is because the way that keel is on an aluminum boat, if you put a keel guard on there, there's too much of a gap. You can't form it. There's been some companies out there that are looking at doing some things where it would be like a custom molded type keel guard. But I can tell you this, that the nice thing about aluminum boat versus fiberglass, with the aluminum, if you beach your boat, you're not on rocks, you're going to scratch the paint on the bottom. There's just no way around that. That's what's going to happen. But you're not going to be taking nicks out of the fiberglass or anything like that. So don't be afraid to beach your boat. Just be careful on the rocks and things like that. Another question, is this event going to be a regular event? I'm not sure. I think we are planning something for next week and possibly the week after. This was kind of a kickoff. I don't know. After today, they may decide that I didn't know what I was doing and I should never do it again, which it's okay. But I really do enjoy this. I like talking to you guys. It's a little different for me. I'm used to talking to people on the phone. I'm used to being at boat shows. I'm used to going to visit dealers and having that interaction. So I appreciate all the great comments that are coming through on here, but I'm feeling like this conversation's a little one-sided with just me talking. So I apologize. Impact 2025 hull versus a Pro V, both IPS2. Both are great hulls. That Impact 2025 has been around for a long, long time. We changed the interior of that boat to an XS a few years back. Great boat, but I'll be honest, nothing rides like a Pro V. That's just the way it is. So, onboard charger worth having on a boat. I would recommend that everyone has an onboard charger on their boat, honestly, because the way it is today, everybody's running bigger electronics. You're running your stereo, you're running your live well, you're doing things like that. So you're drawing those batteries down. Same with your trolling motor. You're out using your trolling motor all day. The nice thing is when you have an onboard charger, you can just come back home, go in your garage or your carport or your driveway, your campground, wherever you are, take your extension cord or your boat lift. I always forget about all you guys that live on the lake. So yeah, you can just plug it in, charge them up, you're ready to go the next day, go catch some fish. What are some new features? 17. So the Lund Impacts, we can talk about them just a little bit, you guys. So we've got a couple different versions. We have the Impact, and then we have the Impact XS. Great models of boats for us. Biggest difference is between the two, the XS has the flip-up seating in the back, so those have the integrated jump seats in the back, where the regular Impact has just more of a standard platform in the back without the jump seats, and then you can add, if you want, you can add an aft flip seat. So when you add that aft flip seat, what that does is, on a standard Impact, that's going to flip up over the back live well and give you seating there, and when you flip it down, it gives you a bigger rear casting deck. The XS is also a great model because it's got the integrated flip up seating like what the crossovers and Tyes do. The Adventure has that same thing. So it really just it gives you a great family style and fishing style boat. Somebody asked about the Tie Limited features. A lot of great features with the limiteds. I tell you what, you guys, one thing that I love is I keep this one with me all the time, and this is a Pro V. This isn't a Tie. This is a Pro V Limited. Sorry, the glare is kind of a lot, but just to show you guys that the Pro V Limited, Tie Limited, both basically based off of the same thing. You can get it in its special paint schemes, special interior. Comes with a marine mat. Awesome boat, clear coated black windshield frames, hydraulic steering, custom trailer on it. If you guys have not been out on the Lund website and checked out those Pro V and Tie Limiteds or been to a dealership that has them in stock, I would highly recommend you get out and look at them because it's phenomenal. Where can I find specifications about my boat? That was a question that came in earlier today as well. What I would recommend you guys is if you don't have one of these, the Lund Megalog, you can tell I just have all kinds of stuff all over the place. This is where, I got a shout out to my buddy Brett from Pirate Cove Marine. He was on today and challenged me a little bit. And we talked about all the questions that go back and forth. So I appreciate you, Brett, with all the questions you bring. And here's usually the two tools I use. And but the specifications are in this Magalog. They're at the bottom of each one. The other thing you can do is you can go out to the Lund Boats website, and you can, if you've got an older model, we actually have all the old Magalogs in our archives in our website. So you can go in there and you can download that catalog, and then in the back of each one are the specs for that boat, and then other specs on the newer models and things like that. If there's something you're looking for that you can't find on there, if you get in touch with your dealer, they have access to all of that stuff. What's the warranty on a Lund boat? That's going to be there's some different warranty features. Basically, you've got a 3-year warranty on the top side, basically, and everything in the boat. You've got a lifetime warranty on the double riveted seams, and again, there's a printed copy, and I could go through it, but there's a lot of stuff in there. So actually, I think a printed copy is a copy is available on our website as well. Seen they changed the glove box design on the new impacts. The 2017 had the large glove box on the walk-through windshields. So the reason they did that is we actually so the question is on the older, the 2017 and older impacts, that thing had a massive glove box. When you open the door on that thing, you could actually go in there and I don't even know how deep that thing went, but I think there was probably a couple of cases where people took like their small dogs with and they got lost when they shoved them in there and then they couldn't find them or something. No, just kidding. But what we did is we actually put a shelf in there and then put a stuff hole down below. So it kind of gives you 2 layers so you can keep it more organized. A question: is Lund Mania still a go at this time? As far as I know, it is. Again, with everything going on in the world right now, things are changing. But we'll do the best we can and keep everybody updated. You'll be able to see the updates right here on our Facebook page as well. So, good websites to go to check the current value of my boat. I go back to this. I think I mentioned it earlier. Lund boats have the highest resale of any aluminum boat out on the market. It's proven. It's factual. You throw your boat up on some of these forums. If you're looking to sell your boat, honestly, I personally use things like Craigslist and things like that to sell your boat. The best way to find out what that value is to talk to your dealer. Go out, check out some websites. There's the NADA guides. There's Kelly Blue Book. There's things there's all kinds of things out on the website. But really, the best thing to do is check what boats are selling for around you. Check with your dealer, and they're gonna be able to really give you the best value. And then one other thing I always like, and I'll talk in relation to this in Minnesota. I don't know the regulations in every state, but what I always encourage people, and I run into this a lot in boat shows, and they talk to me and they're looking for a brand new Lund boat, and they've got a used Lund boat to trade in or a different brand because they're upgrading to a Lund. It's what their family had. It's what they want. It's our dream boat. But geez, what should we do? Should we sell our boat first? Should we try and sell it straight out? Should we trade it in? If I sell it straight out, I might build a few more dollars. So I'm sure many of you out there have had kind of those same conversations. And what I always tell people is the nice thing is if you trade it into a dealer in Minnesota anyway, you're only going to pay the sales tax difference on the used boat to the new boat. I don't know about the other states. I know that's the case for Minnesota. And then the other thing I look at is not that we all don't like talking to people, because we do, and we've joined in, and that's why we're here. But when you make that deal, with your dealer, they're gonna take your trade in. They're gonna make sure that's gonna go, and then they're gonna be the ones that are fielding calls from all those consumers and things like that. So there's a lot of things to weigh out. Time is precious, and I always recommend. I encourage people to trade in a boat and buy a new one from the dealer. And I think in the end result of that, people are a lot happier from my experience. The best model for a family boat. I tell you what, you guys, we've got a ton of models that are great. It's really a tough question to answer without knowing, what size is your family, how many people are going out, what size, what bodies of water are you fishing, right? So, because I will tell you this, that I think I think it starts, for a family boat. For me, it probably starts with the Lund Adventure. It's got those jump seats in the back, so you can get good seating for 6, 7 people in there. And then you upgrade from there to that Impact XS or the crossover. The crossover, I tell you what, you guys, if you haven't seen it, check out the crossover, because that is a great family boat, fish and ski. I'm gonna go fishing part of the time. Then in the afternoon, I'm taking my family out. Um, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna throw the ski pylon in. I'm gonna go do some skiing. I'm gonna hook the tow harness up. I'm gonna do some tubing, and then back in the evening, I'm gonna go fishing again. So the crossover is probably the greatest boat for that, along with all the other XS versions as well. The 1875 Impact, if you got a bigger family, 2025 Impact XS. It's really we build. I truly believe we build every one of our Lund boats to be family friendly. I mean, it is what we do. We understand that the Lund boat owner, that's the member of our Lund family, they have families, and we want to make sure that everybody's out on the water enjoying themselves. And motor size, again, it just depends on the boat you buy. If you buy a 1775 Adventure Sport, you're probably going to put a 115 on it. If you're buying a 1875 crossover, you're going to do most likely you're going to do a 150, maybe a 150 Pro XS. You go up to the Tyee, you're maybe going to do a 200. So it's kind of all over the board. Can I buy just the hull of a boat on the aluminum sample? Yes, you can. You can buy, if you want to keep your engine, keep your trailer, and just buy a hull. One thing I will tell you about this, depending on what you're trading in, the trailers that go underneath a Lund boat, they're set up for that Lund boat, where sometimes your other trailer might not be set up quite the same. So if you're going to do a lot of towing and things like that, it's probably not going to work out the best. And then the other side of it is, depending on how old your engine is, you might have to change out your pre-rig and things like that. So there's a lot of pieces to really look at when you're doing that. I'm not trying to discourage anyone from that, but I would just say that in a lot of cases you're going to be better off to probably just trade it on a whole new package versus just a hull. But it is possible for sure. Good shout out to my buddy Thane Jensen, loves his Pro VGL. I seen that the other day, my friend, that you got that baby out and parked in the garage. So we're gonna get out on the water here real soon. Um, Can I order parts and accessories after I purchase my boat? Absolutely, you can. Um, you can buy those from your dealer. They all have them in, they stock a lot of the parts: sport track brackets, sport tops, aft flip seats, um, rod holders, travel covers, extra seats, all things like that. If they don't stock them, they can get them from us and they can sell them to you. We don't sell directly. We work everything through our dealer network. So um, here's a good question from my buddies down at North Star and Albert Lee. So 219 Pro V or 2075 for Lake of the Woods. I'll let you guys be the judge. I love both those boats. I would fish out of either one any day of the week, especially with you guys. So great questions. One other thing, I want to mention this about the Lund boats that I kind of want to get back to, and we were talking about the boats going through the factory, and kind of what's special to me about it is the employees that are building them. And it's not just that, it's your customer service people that are all fishing out of Lund boats. It's the people in invoicing that care about what they do. It's the sales team that's out on the road working with the dealers. It's our dealers who are running Lund boats. It's everybody in this Lund family, whether it's the employees, the consumers, the dealers, we are all part of something special. And I believe that every Lund boat's kind of like a unicorn. They're every one of them's built unique, so very special. With that, I think we're going to probably look at wrapping this thing up. I appreciate everybody's time tonight. I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you found it useful, and look forward to seeing you all again, and hopefully seeing you out on the water. So, thank you, and have a good night. And just one other thing, I guess I would like to probably close this out is just remember to practice social distancing. I just think it's very important because we all do want to get out there. We want to be enjoying each other as family and friends. And make sure you check out your favorite boats at www.lundboats.com. Check out your dealer websites. Call your dealers. Get out there. See some Lund boats. And thank you again to all of our current Lund owners. Thank you to the Lund employees that joined in on this tonight. Thank you to the Lund dealers for taking great care of our Lund consumers. And thank you all for joining us. Have a great night.